Thank you for tuning in to the latest edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. Whether you're listening during your commute, while working out, or just relaxing at home, we appreciate you. Every download, every listen, and every subscription means a lot. Thank you for being part of the 12 Kyle podcast community. Stay tuned for another episode. This is the 12 Kyle podcast.
Hear me clearly. Hear me clearly. Attend high school with Prince, live on the same block as TLC, or be co-workers with Janet and Mike.
No.
That's fire. That is.
You are diabolical.
I am. Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading. And thank you for subscribing to the latest edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. I am your boy, 12 Kyle. Man, check this out. On this episode, what I want to talk about is what you just heard. What you heard was a portion of a clip of an episode, a recent episode from fellow podcaster, my brother, Baylor the Great. The name of his podcast is called BTG for President. And on this particular episode, he had our homie, Jay Boog. She has a podcast as well. It's called Jay's Quick 3, part of the J Spot Network. Shout out to Jay. And what Baylor did was he asked her the question, because on this particular episode, he was just asking her random questions. And he asked her, which would you rather do? Attend high school with Prince, live on the same block as TLC, or be co-workers with Janet Jackson and Michael Jackson. Now, you can tell from the clip that Jay was, somewhat disturbed by the question because that's tough for her. She's a fan of all. She's a fan of Michael Jackson, huge fan of TLC, and huge fan of Janet and Michael. And as I'm listening to this particular episode, I'm driving in my car. I'm literally screaming at the speaker. There's only one answer. There's only one answer. There's only one answer. The answer is to attend high school with Prince. Come on now. Who doesn't want to do that? But Jay's answer was to be co-workers with Janet and Michael. And it's cool because I know she loves them. But it got me to thinking, why not you just tell people why it would have been dope if Prince had gone to high school with you? Now, if you don't know, I went to Wilson High School in Florence, South Carolina. It's a predominantly black school. Graduated June 7th, 1991. Yeah, so it's been that long. But for this particular episode, we're going to transport Prince into 1991. So Prince is a senior along with me at Wilson High School. And I'm going to tell you why Prince should have gone to Wilson and what would have happened had he gone to Wilson. I know what you're probably thinking. Why should Prince go to Wilson? Well, I'll answer that. Quite frankly, Wilson is the best high school in Florence, South Carolina. So, there's 3 schools. There's Wilson and 2 other schools. Seriously. There's Wilson, there's South Florence, and then there's West Florence. Quite honestly, Prince would be much better at Wilson. Why? Because Wilson's the best school of the 3, right? And more than anything else, the first thing that comes to mind is Wilson has been around since like 1840, and our school colors are purple and gold. That right there would make Prince want to go to Wilson because he loves purple. We already know this, right? So he would definitely be a Tiger. And he would definitely want to be in the class of 91. Why 91? Because it wouldn't make any sense for Prince to be in the class of 1992 or class of 1990. no disrespect, which means some disrespect is about to come. But the class of 1990, they were cool, but they don't have it. Like, they never had it all. They just, they were very fragmented, very top heavy. As far as personalities, good people, love them, but no. Shout out to Bo T. I know Bo T's listening and watching. He's in that class. And then the class of 92, they just weren't ready. They never could get right. The class of 91 was very balanced. You had, scholars, you had athletes, you had nerds, you had, troublemakers a little, but we're not going to talk about that. But class of 91 was legit. I mean, it was legit the best class in that particular time frame. So we have to put Prince in the class of 1991. And again, we have to put him at Wilson because why would he ever want to go to South Florence or West Florence? I mean, let's just be honest. And again, our school colors are purple and gold. We were wearing purple and gold long before Makers High Five was even thought of. So we are the originators of purple and gold. Again, the high school goes back to the 1840s. This was the first high school that was created for Black kids in this area. Now that you have your history, Prince would definitely be a Tiger at Wilson High in 1991. Now I know what you're thinking. What would Prince have done at Wilson? He would have done a myriad of things. First and foremost, Prince would definitely be on the marching band. At the time, when I was in high school, we had a pretty good marching band. The Marching Pride, that's what they call it. Now here's where the dilemma comes in, because Prince actually played 12 different instruments. So where do you put Prince? Baylor. I'll tell you right now where you put Prince. Because here's the thing. We know he's dope on the piano, but in a marching band, Baylor, you don't have a piano on the field, right? I'm willing to put Prince in the drum section. Why? Because he's an incredible drummer. If you're a fan, you know. If you don't know, now you know, said Biggie. Yeah, I'm definitely putting Prince in the drum section, and I'm going to make him the drum leader. Sorry, Derek Talton. Sorry, Billings Jones. Sorry, Fred T. Johnson. Y'all are great drummers, but y'all not touching Prince. You're just not. Especially not in 1991. No, you're not touching Prince. Derek Talton, I love you. Love you to life. You weren't ready to touch Prince in 1991. So Prince is going to lead that drum section. They call themselves the Rock Squad. Prince most definitely is running the Rock Squad. The interesting thing about that 1991 band is that they had a freshman drummer, and the freshman drummer was my younger brother, Damon. So Damon would have learned under Prince, would have made him an even more incredible drummer than the drummer that he became. He would have been a freshman. Prince would have been a senior. So I'm definitely putting Prince out there to lead the Rock Squad. Can you picture Friday nights, Florence, South Carolina, Memorial Stadium? The band is playing, going crazy. Prince is rocking the drums. And on the field comes the football team. And there's a little guy out there, he's wearing number 1. That's me. And he's catching passes and he's scoring touchdowns and the crowd is going crazy. And we're winning. And we're a pretty damn good team. And you got Prince in the stands rocking. And here's the thing. Our drum section at that particular time with the Marching Pride, they were bad. I mean, like this was pre-drum line. So like they would have drum battles with other bands. Do you really want to have a drum battle with Wilson? If Prince Rogers Nelson is leading your squad? Come on, man. no other high school would have been able to compete with us because Prince is nasty on the drums. So Friday nights would have been lit. I'm not even going to lie. It would have been incredible to see. So he's leading the drum section. Now, keep in mind, the band plays at halftime. So not only are they jamming in the stands, but then they also come on the field. Prince on the drums in front of the crowd at Memorial Stadium in Florence on a Friday night? Baylor. He's tearing it down. Listen, Baylor. Prince, there's no doubt in my mind, is going to get a drum solo in front of that crowd. Shout out to Mr. Harvey, the band director. There's no doubt in my mind he's giving Prince a drum solo in the middle of the performance. And not only that, Baylor, but he is one of the key components to the success of the band. What I mean by that is, in South Carolina, we had band competitions. And so, it may be like the bands, maybe, 30 bands, they would go to a location and they would have competition and they'd be judged and scored on their, performance or whatever. Baylor, can you imagine a band competition and they give Prince a solo in the middle of the band competition? Wilson is not losing, Baylor. So I don't understand why Jay didn't want to go to high school with Prince, because I would have wanted to go to high school with Prince. But I'm going to get to Jay in a second. So not only is he doing that, but Jay Boog, Prince can sing, right? So there's no doubt in my mind that Prince, if he's at Wilson, he's on the honors chorus, right? Our honors chorus is called Tiger Production. Back in the day, there was a young, scrawny little freshman who made Tiger Production as a freshman. And he not only made Tiger Production as a freshman, but he was in honors chorus his freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year. That would be me. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I was the best or the greatest singer of all time, because that's not true. But there's no doubt in my mind that Prince would be on Tiger Production with us, because why wouldn't he be? He's 10 times a better singer than me, and I was pretty good, but I wasn't Prince. Prince is definitely on Tiger Production. He's on our honors course. And here's the funny thing, Jay. At one point in time, our honors course teacher got sick, and she was out, man, for probably the better part of a month. And so, honors course is just like any other course, but this is the highest level of course. You can't just have any substitute teacher come in and teach course. Because the honors course was the show choir. So we're singing, but we're also doing dancing and performances and stuff like that. Guess what? If our teacher is out, Prince could teach the class. Duh. Come on, man. What are we talking about, J Boog? Prince is definitely going to Wilson. Why would he go anywhere else? So not only is he killing it on Friday nights, but every day in honors chorus, or Tiger Production as we called it, he's leading the class. I mean, in Tiger Production, we didn't really have solos, but why not give Prince a solo? He could do it. You wasn't giving me no solo because I wasn't like that. I was nice. I was efficient, but I wasn't like that. But I'm most definitely giving Prince a solo. Come on now. In a show choir, he's tearing it down. So Prince would have definitely made our honors chorus incredible. He would have made the band incredible. But Baylor, there's another part to Prince's aura and what he did in high school. Don't forget, Prince played basketball in high school. Yeah, that's right. He played basketball in Minneapolis. Now, I know we've all seen the Chappelle Show where they joked about Prince being able to play basketball. But no, Prince was nice on the court. I mean, he'd cross you up. He had a nice jumper. Of course, Prince not that tall, but he was quick. He could get to the basket. Baylor. Prince would definitely be the starting point guard on the Wilson basketball team. No disrespect to Myron. What's up, Myron? No disrespect. Myron Green. No disrespect, but Prince is starting over you. And I want to say my senior year, I think we made it to the lower state finals, Baylor. If you put Prince on our basketball team, Baylor, we're winning the state championship. So not only is Prince winning the state championship, but he's dominating on the band. He's dominating in chorus. Oh, and let me go back for a second. As far as chorus is concerned, we used to do this thing every year where you would, try out for what they call all-state chorus. And the way it works, Baylor, is you go to this room and there's some judges in the room. And they have a soprano, an alto, a tenor, and a bass. They give you some sheet music that you've never seen before. And you have to sing along and read it and sing it as you're reading it. It can be very difficult for some people who cannot read music. Not everybody makes all-state chorus. Your boy did. So, listen, if you have Prince, there's no doubt in my mind Prince makes all-state chorus with me. And again, I'm not even on his level, but he makes all-state chorus with me. Me and Avery Buford. Shout out to Avery. So, let me get this straight. He's killing it on the band. He's killing it in chorus. And then the basketball court, I really think you put Prince on our basketball team, he'll probably average 8 and 8. 8 points, 8 assists. That's all you needed him to do. The 8 assists would be key because we had some scorers, Baylor. We had some scorers. I mean, we could get up and down the court. We could shoot. We could defend. And, I mean, Baylor, we could press. We could press any team, Baylor. We're not losing with Prince at point guard. Again, no disrespect to Myron, but you ain't Prince. And neither am I, for what it's worth. So the next question, J Boog, I know you got. Who does Prince hang with at Wilson? Now that's an interesting question because Prince is very quiet, very introvert, not really talkative. He definitely hangs with me, but we don't hang all the time, but we hang because he's got to be down with the crew. I could see Prince kind of hanging with quite a few kids. I could see him hanging with the cool kids. I could see Prince even hanging with the nerds for a little while. But he would definitely be with the cool kids because Prince at this point would be a high visibility kid. So he didn't smoke. He didn't drink. So he would be in our drug prevention group called Teen Institute, which was huge in my high school back in the day. So he's a pretty popular kid. He's an athlete. Let's just say Prince is a fairly decent student. Not a straight A student, but he's a BC student. So, he's probably involved in student government. Who knows? Prince may have run for office or something like that. But he's definitely being involved and he's definitely hanging around. Speaking of hanging, where do you think Prince would hang, J Book? Prince would definitely hang around a lot at home. Somebody that talented, somebody that crafty, probably wouldn't be in the mix a lot, but he would definitely, do his thing at his crib because at crib, you got a piano, you got your video games, and the crew can always come over and kick it with you. Well, you can listen to music. Prince would definitely hang at Magnolia Mall, Baylor. Now, the Magnolia Mall is a mall in Florence, South Carolina. It's not a huge mall, but it's where we hung out. Prince would definitely be in the arcade. That's the one place he'd be. If you ever wanted to find Prince on a Saturday where he wasn't doing anything, he would spend hours at the arcade at Magnolia Mall. There's no doubt in my mind he'd do that. Because, I mean, really, that's kind of like where kids kicked it at. And, you know, at this point in time, we're talking 1991. So literally your mother could drop you off, right? For hours. So Prince would probably go in Magnolia Mall, go to the arcade, play for a couple of hours, go out, get some Chick-fil-A, sit down, eat, laugh, go back to the arcade. And that might be his whole Saturday until his mom came to pick him up. Let's see, what else? J Boog, I know you're dying to hear this, but who would Prince have dated from the class of 1991? This is interesting because we know that Prince has always dated the flyest girls, flyest young ladies. I don't want to start calling names because I might leave somebody out. But if you're fly and you graduated in 1991, you know who I'm talking to. Prince probably had one girlfriend his senior year at Wilson. I could see him doing that, having one girl and, you know, subsequently they break up right before the school year ends. So Prince probably, whoever the flyest was, and you, for those of you listening and watching, you can hit me up in the comments, particularly if you went to Wilson and you know about the class of 1991. Prince definitely had a girlfriend from the class of 1991. And I'll leave it at that. So Baylor, I know you're thinking, who would Prince have gone to prom with? Now that I'm not sure, because here's the thing. Like I said, Prince probably had his girlfriend from like the start of school, which was August for us. And then they dated all the way through December, Christmas, the whole nine, started the new year. And they probably broke up maybe around March. Well, you know what? Prom is in April. So by that measure, Baylor, Prince probably goes to prom by himself. And the ladies love it. And he's taking pictures with people, but he ain't with nobody. He came by himself. And of course, he's coming. He's got on a fly purple tuxedo, gold pinstripes, because the school colors are purple and gold. He's got a purple cummerbund, white shirt with ruffles. Nobody wears ruffles anymore. And a purple bow tie. And of course, he had on the coolest of Stacey Adams that you could find. He got a Stacey Adams from a store called Jeans West. Shout out to Jeans. Is Jeans West still around? I don't even know. Anyway, so yeah, Baylor, Prince goes to prom solo dolo. And then Prince graduates on June 7th, 1991 with the rest of us. And what's interesting about Prince's graduation is that, you know, it's not a lot of fanfare. It's his mom, his dad, auntie, uncle, and a couple of cousins. And that's it. There's no entourage. There's not like a gang of people coming and cheering his name. And at that time, Prince was focused on college. Colleges were looking for Prince, but by that time, Baylor, Prince really wasn't thinking about college, even though he knew that was an option. He was really trying to get this music thing off the ground. So Prince was eyeing studio time and developing what would be his first album. He did not have a lot of money for studio time, so he spent a lot of time at home crafting his skills. And what he ended up doing was playing every instrument that you hear on his first album. And it all got started in 1991. So in conclusion, I just wanted to tell Baylor and J Boog, I'm not mad at their answer. I'm not mad at J Boog's answer. She answered with her heart, you know, and she's a huge fan of Janet Jackson. I know she just went to Janet's concert a couple of days ago. So I get it, right? But that being said, the answer to that question, there's only one answer. And that is that Prince would have gone to high school with me. And I don't know, maybe J Boog's high school wasn't as fly as mine. So she wasn't really thinking about, but J Boog's fly. So I would think like she want to, hang with Prince. But there's no doubt in my mind. Prince is going to Wilson. We're hanging. We're boys. We're kicking. The only thing that he's not doing is playing football. I could definitely see Prince on his way to school stopping at Pat's. And for those of you who don't know, Pat's is a corner store that's not too far from the school. And they have like the best sausage dogs you ever want to have in your life. Cool thing about Pat's, I don't think I've ever used like a debit card. We didn't use debit cards back then. You had cash, right? And you go in the morning, you get yourself a sausage dog, grape soda, and a honey bun. And that was it. That was your lunch. Like you didn't need anything else in this world. Nobody cared about, McDonald's or anything like that when you had Pat's. So Prince definitely went to Pat's. He definitely spent a lot of time at home, and he spent a lot of time just riding around Florida, listening to music, kicking. So again, I really want to thank Baylor and J Boog for Jay's wrong answer because it allowed me to tell you why he should have gone to Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for me. Thanks again for checking out this edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast. The podcast drops every Thursday and every Sunday at midnight without fail. If you're on YouTube, check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/12Kyle. If you're there, subscribe. Hit the like button, hit the notification button. That way you can get notified once the episode actually drops. And that's important because the YouTube episodes actually come out before the audio does. And the great thing about the YouTube channel is that you can actually get visual and audio both on the channel. Also, like I said, the podcast comes out every Thursday and every Sunday. You can find the 12 Kyle podcast wherever you get your podcast. And leave us comments. You can leave comments on Spotify, and you can leave comments on the YouTube page as well. We love comments. Also, if you're on social media, hit me up on social media at 12 Kyle, the number 12 KYLE at 12 Kyle podcast. You can find the podcast on you can follow me, on Twitter X, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. And if you feel so inclined, you want to throw us a couple of dollars, we'll take it. You can contribute financially. Cash App, $TWELVEKYLE. And also you can buy merch. We have merch. Look in the comment section of this particular episode. You see a link that says merch. Click that link. You can buy 12 Kyle podcast t-shirts, coffee mugs, hoodies, posters, you name it. We got it for a very, very low price. Again, that's going to do it for me. I am your boy 12 Kyle. I'll catch you guys next time. 5,000.
Thank you for tuning in to the latest edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Share the podcast with a friend who needs the 12 Kyle podcast in their life. Every listen, every share, and every subscription helps us grow. So go ahead, subscribe now and share it with a friend. Thanks for being a part of the 12 Kyle podcast community. We appreciate your support. 5,000.